conditions are going to really depend on how well they clear the
Welcome into the
roads.
Oklahoman's video studio. I'm Dave Morris here with a winter weather update. So we go to the experts down in Norman. It's Rick Smith, the warning coordination meteorologist with the National Weather Service. Always good to see you, sir.
Good to be here, Dave. Thanks for having me.
I feel like we should Skype during the summer when there's not much going on, because every time I talk to you, it's a forecast of, hey, Rick, what's about to happen?
Yeah, give me an opportunity to deliver some good news every once in a while. But yeah, it's another one of those days.
You know, I was just thinking towards the end of November, it was 60 degrees, which seemed kind of absurd for November. Now it's December and it's much colder. You sort of expect some winter weather. And this is something that you guys have been working on all week long. What's the latest?
Well, we have been tracking the storm system all week long, and we've been saying all along that as the system gets closer and we get better weather data actually measuring the system, we'll hopefully get a better handle on what we think to happen. That forecast has been changing all week, and it continues to change. As we're getting the latest data in this morning, still looks like we're going to get some snow, maybe some ice across parts of Oklahoma. This will begin mainly Friday night, and in some areas very late Friday night, early Saturday morning, and continue through much of the day on Saturday. Amounts are still somewhat in question, but we're fairly confident that there's going to be at least part of the state where we have enough snow and potentially some ice to cause travel problems. This is mainly going to be a storm that impacts travel. The good news, we talked about good news. The good news is that we think the ice accumulations are going to be less than what we were thinking maybe yesterday. So the potential for power outages and tree damage and things like that have gone down substantially since this time yesterday.
You mentioned the fact that the forecast has changed throughout the week. I suppose we could still see some more changes before things actually happen Friday night or Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. Our forecasters here have been working hard around the clock to analyze all the computer models that we look at and look at all the data. And what we usually like to see is the forecast gets a little easier, or there's more confidence in the forecast the closer we get. But that hasn't been the case with this storm. There's even some more uncertainty this morning as we're looking at data. So it's hard to forecast snow anywhere. It's hard to forecast snow and ice here in Oklahoma. If you've lived around here any length of time, you know 1 degree of temperature difference can make all the difference in the world. So it's going to be a challenge, but there's going to be people that see enough snow to build snowmen. There's going to be some people that are disappointed and won't get any snow at all, and it's going to be a pretty thin line between those two areas. So we're identifying exactly where that line's going to be and how many inches of snow we'll see is what we're dealing with today.
You can't make people happy with the weather, especially, right, Rick?
Especially snow. People are passionate about snow, and so yeah, there's a high disappointment factor when these snowfall forecasts.
All right, so I guess one thing to consider is that this is not happening during the week, so we're not necessarily talking school closings or church closings. It's an event that'll probably be contained to the weekend. Is that true, yes or no?
Yeah, mainly the weekend. I think Friday during the day and even Friday evening is going to be okay here in central Oklahoma especially. I wouldn't cancel any real plans on Friday or even Friday evening. At this point, I think the main bulk of it is going to happen late Friday night and then into Saturday. And it's a good thing there's no school in session, but there's a ton of activities going on. Our phone's been ringing off the wall here with people asking about their Christmas parade or their state competition for dance or whatever the case may be. So there's a lot going on in our area, and we know it's going to impact people. We just want people to be careful and be aware that you could have some slick roads, and certainly that's our main goal, is to keep people informed and safe when it comes to the weather.
Yeah, and I'll give you the final word on this. What should people know the most about the weather heading our way this weekend?
Know that there is winter weather coming in the form of some freezing rain and some snow. We still haven't nailed down exactly who's going to get the most of it, but we are confident that it's going to be most of it's going to happen Friday night into Saturday. So just be ready, and if it snows, hopefully you're able to enjoy the snow and won't cause too many impacts.
And finally, every time there is winter weather, it's a run on bread and milk. I was at the grocery store last night, Rick, and as you might think, there was a run on bread and milk. My final question to you, a little bit in jest here, is what might be your winter weather preparations that you would go to the grocery store for?
You know, well, I went to the grocery store much earlier in the week based on the forecast. So there's been a time or two where I've been caught in the grocery store at the last minute and hoping nobody would see me and know who I was. But no, it's you got to have the basics. You got to have the food and water and whatever other essentials you need to get you through if you happen to be stranded at home. But yeah, bread and milk and eggs. We talk about the French toast alert sometimes. People go get all those. They seem to gravitate toward those three things especially.
Yeah, the checkout guy was like, yeah, there's been a ton of people tonight. They expect it again today, Thursday at noon as well. You can stay with the National Weather Service Twitter. They do a fantastic job there. NWS Norman is the Twitter account. You can follow Rick online. He does a fantastic job. OUNWCM. For that, and of course, newsok.com, pulling in the feed from the National Weather Service so you can find it on our website as well. Rick, I know it's busy there. I certainly appreciate your time. We'll catch up with you again this weekend. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Always happy to be here.